As I'm posting this now, I survived. I made it. I'm homeless right now. I've been scrambling crazy, but guys, it's super totally under control, obviously, because look. Welcome, everybody in. It's your host, DM Livingston, Waterbury Times, Facebook News, here with the Waterbury Times Investigates. I appreciate you all for checking in with this week's episode. It hits a little bit close to home because it's touching on a personal situation that I had to go through. But because of that, I am able to give you firsthand knowledge and information about something that is a big problem here in the Brass City, and that is homelessness. Yes. Now, we have the stereotypical person we think of when we think of a person being homeless. Maybe they're on the corner begging for $1, or maybe they're, disheveled looking and pushing a cart full of bags and knickknacks and things of that nature. But you never know who you walk past out there and the situation and the problems that they are in. So first of all, I want to encourage everyone to be a little more sensitive when it comes to this topic, because it is a serious issue, as we're going to go over in this episode here today. First, I want to say a special thanks to 211. For those that don't know, 211 is basically like your helpline information when you need help with food, assistance, pretty much social services, things of that nature. 211 is the place to go, and that is where my search to get out of the situation that I found myself in started. The first step in the process when you are suffering from homelessness is to reach out to 211. You will be given a person that will take your intake information in order for you to be placed on waiting lists for homeless shelters. 211, which is ran by the United Way of Connecticut. So recently, they reached out to our legislator down in Hartford, and they said, hey, run that bread. We need some more money, because calls into 211 have gone up 300% over the last 5 years. So basically, they're saying, hey, we need more people to pick up the phone because there are more people calling 211, and they're trying to eliminate the long hold times. And this I can attest to. I was on hold for a very long time. And for people that have short attention spans, or like they just don't have good patience, it's very easy to hang up when they're like, you're on hold for 4 hours. And I really was on hold for 4 hours when I first called 211. They say that housing calls alone, just so calls strictly for housing, are up 30%. And that's just in the last year. And one of those calls was my call. So it's a problem. It's a real problem here. And homelessness is up 30%. So they're asking for more money because the COVID money that was funding a lot of these things, that COVID money, that money's gone. So they're looking for more money. They're looking for around $2.75 million. Now, with the utmost respect, I'm asking this with not a hint of sarcasm. How many homeless shelters could $2.75 million build? I was told the wait list was like 100. It was like 100 to get into a shelter. I will find a place to live before you get me into a shelter, right? So it's like, I understand the premise, the logic. More people are calling. Give us more money to answer the phones. If they have $2.75 million for you to answer phones for people that don't have shelter, then you have money to build shelters. So then not that many people will have to call, respectfully. So it's more than just homeless shelters. There are actually 4 options that a person has when they are suffering from homelessness and they reach out to 211. So the number one thing that they can do to kind of alleviate the issues and the pressures that they are facing due to their homelessness is that if they have a friend or a relative out of state, the state of Connecticut will pay for your relocation. They will buy you a bus ticket, plane ticket, and it will send you to a place where you can stay. So for those that are out here and you don't have no place to be and you have no place to stay, if you have a relative or a friend that lives out of state, contact 211. The state of Connecticut will send you there free of charge. Number two, let's say you have a relative, you have a friend here that's kind of on the fence of letting you crash there. Maybe you need a few weeks, maybe you need a month just to get your feet stable underneath you. The state of Connecticut will pay one utility bill for whomever allows you to stay there for a month. I believe it's a month. Number three thing, and this is especially going to resonate with a lot of residents, these ridiculous 2 month security deposits, and you have to make 3 times the rent here in the state of Connecticut. The state of Connecticut will pay up to 2 months security deposit. Yes, you have to reach out to 211. That is how I got my apartment back. State of Connecticut, thank you. 2 month security deposit. So I was able to move in, because when you're starting from scratch, it's hard to get $3,000 lump sum just to move in and then have to pay rent again in 30 days. And lastly, but not leastly, is your traditional get on a wait list to get into a shelter. But what I can tell you, the wait lists are enormous. Very, very long time. You'll most likely be able to get on your feet on your own before you'll ever set foot into a shelter. So those are the 4 options that 211 provides for those. So if you know anyone, don't be afraid to share this information, because a lot of people, I was totally unaware of these services that are out there. So 211 has these services to help combat against homelessness here in Nebraska City. So the question remains, is this ever going to change? Like, in all honesty, is there ever going to be a day that we don't go downtown and see some homeless person asking us for change? Is there ever going to come a day where there isn't someone out there that has no place to be, with what's going on with the federal government and potentially them pulling funding back? It's going to be a lot more pressure on local government, state government, nonprofits to handle this epidemic. And believe me, it's an epidemic of homelessness, people not having a place to sleep at night. We have to stop the stigmatization of homelessness. You hear homelessness and it's like, I don't want to talk about it. People don't have a place to sleep at night. They have nowhere to go, and it's snowing and it's cold, right? And we here at the Waterbury Times would like to think that the buildings that were purchased by the city, don't think that we forgot, that's supposed to be for homelessness. Hopefully those come online pretty soon. And hopefully something can be done about these landlords and these rent prices, because more people would identify as homeless if they didn't have loving relatives to let them stay with. So let's keep that in mind. The next time we see that person out there and they're asking for $1, even though there's a vast majority of them that are probably gonna go get high and could care less about having a home, just maybe that one person that you do help out, maybe that's the only help they're going to get that day, because they still have to figure out where they're going to sleep. So this has been your host, DM Livingston. Thank you for joining us here. The Waterbury Times Investigates homelessness. You guys be safe. Be sure to join us 2 weeks from now with another Waterbury Times Investigates. You guys be safe. And as always, peace.